the entire game. They do not go to the bench that much, like you said, Chelsea. Malou Chitenge is a name to keep an eye on as well, a true freshman that has been playing extremely well so far. On the other side for the Fighting Illini, their starting five includes a couple of freshmen with Kennedy Miles as well. Jada Peebles, a freshman, averaging 9.4 points per game. Father played football for North Carolina State. Originally committed to North Carolina State, but then came over to Illinois. She has 19 family members here tonight. Had to ask for a couple of extra tickets on that guest pass list, which I'm sure is filled up for Peebles tonight. Ready to go here inside of Carmichael. Again, North Carolina and Illinois have only met 5 times prior to tonight. The result, Carolina 5 straight wins. Illinois opening up in man-to-man. Chelsea, we saw them work a zone in their shoot-around earlier today. Now kind of moving back into the zone. The first shot is good. There's Janelle Bailey, the 6'4" junior center from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Janelle Bailey's a player that's been fun to watch. One of those starting 5 that has been consistent, and you just saw she's added that mid-range game and getting better at that, allowing her to extend the defense.
Off-balance shot, no good, and a rebound by Allie Andrews, the senior. Her shot is no good. Another offensive board for the Illini. That's Kennedy Miles in there in the scrum. Jump ball, possession arrow to Illinois, and there is Nancy Fay, 3rd season as the head coach for Illinois. Named head coach back in 2017, voted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. Coached Washington University, a D3 school in St. Louis, for 31 years. And a 3 is good from Petra Holoshinka. 5'10", redshirt junior from the Czech Republic, leads the team, ranks 4th in the Big Ten, averaging 16.3 a game.
Yeah, you have to know where she is. Illinois, a team that shoots the 3 well. They average almost 8 per game, and if they can get those to fall, especially early on, they'll set the tempo.
Adina Muhammad's shot is long. Illinois, a team that had finished at the bottom of the Big Ten each of the past 2 years. This year off to their best start since the 2014-2015 season at 6-1. Trying to climb their way out of the bottom of the conference. Inside to Bailey, nice post move, and the finish.
That's textbook secondary offense in transition. Really good job by Koenen to pass up a shot for a better high percentage shot inside to Bailey.
First 4 points for Carolina to Janelle Bailey. She's averaging 17.5 to lead the team. Deflection there, and Carolina up with the ball. See North Carolina, first 6-0 start since 2014-2015. Scoring margin is ridiculous as Taylor Koenen knocks one down mid-range. Janelle Bailey, the lone All-ACC selection. And Chelsea, they were picked to finish 9th preseason. Like we said, they had a coaching change in Courtney Banghart. This one gets away from the senior Allie Andrews. But expectations are maybe not so high across the conference, but I think Coach Banghart sees this team and sees some of the confidence that they've brought to the table. This is a very good team.
Yeah, the question again for them is the depth.
Yeah.
Starting 5, obviously so many options to go to. There's balance, there is consistency. As you get later into the season and you face possible injuries, foul trouble, can this group be consistent? And then who on the bench is going to step up and become a role player? I think that's the biggest question mark, but certainly the league wide open and exciting this season for a lot of those teams picked, you know, maybe in the lower half to certainly finish higher than their preseason poll.
Bailey gets her own board, knocks it down, and will go to the free throw line for an and one opportunity. Janelle Bailey has been on fire.
When Janelle Bailey gets this deep in the post, you're going to have difficulty stopping her. Even with 2, you see post players for Illinois defending her. When she's able to seal her defender that low, that's territory. Coach Fay working with her team in shoot-around earlier. You want to push their Carolina post players off the block and as high as you can. They get positioned that deep, and that's what's going to be happening. 6
points for Janelle Bailey so far in this one. An 8-3 lead for Carolina. Bad pass there, picked off by Koenen, going the other way. 3-on-2 numbers for Carolina, and good hands there from Allie Andrews getting back on defense. Taken out in the corner there for Carolina.
Illinois in a 2-3 zone now. I anticipate we'll see that a decent amount tonight. As a short jumper by Koenen. Koenen is a tough matchup because she's a post player but can play the 3 spot. Has had some experience playing down low as well. Can shoot the 3. She creates mismatch problems, as you saw in that last possession.
Koenen is averaging just under 15. Again, 5 players on this Carolina team averaging over 10 points a game. And already, Janelle Bailey has 9. 30 years as the head coach. The winningest coach in Princeton, named the 2015 Naismith National Coach of the Year, Chelsea. And oh, by the way, incredibly intelligent. A neuroscience bachelor's degree in her playing days at Dartmouth. Incredible stuff, an incredible conversation that we had with her earlier. She was very kind with her time and took about 45 minutes to talk with us. And just gathering from her, she's a person that demands respect, but also has a lot of respect for her players that she has maybe not recruited, but says that she really loves them and cares for them.
Yeah, and you can see the job she's done early on and taking the talent that's here, putting pieces together. It's a big shift, and I've had a coaching change as well during my time at Virginia, my 4th year, and it can be an adjustment, but certainly that fresh slate, a new system, you've got players buying in and creating a lot of excitement, and you could certainly tell from her genuine personality how well connected she is in the game, her passion, and again, as you mentioned, her intelligence, really putting these players in positions to succeed. And she continued to explain how the players are starting to see the fruits of their labor and buying in and trusting her vision start to pay off. And that only creates more buy-in and excitement around what she's brought to Carolina.
So the pass from Taylor Koenen went off of an Illinois defender. And originally it was called that it was going to be Illinois ball. Coach Banghart was not happy about it. The refs got together, had a conference, and turned that call around. So it'll stay with Carolina here. An 11-0 run for the Tar Heels to start here in this first quarter. Illinois 1 for 7 from the field. That's 14.3%. Team that's shooting around 40% from the field for the season. There's a travel call and a turnover on Taylor Koenen. But Illinois needs to get some offense going. This is a very good defensive North Carolina team. I think Coach Banghart said that was something they need to work on coming back from that Cancun challenge in Mexico over the weekend. But what can Illinois do to try and penetrate some of this Carolina defense, Chelsea?
To take care of the basketball again and shoot around. Coach Fay imploring her players to not anticipate passes. You need to use ball fakes, make good passes, and we've seen some of the early turnovers. Those live ball turnovers is what Carolina's been able to capitalize on. I think Illinois needs to continue and do a better job of taking care of the basketball in their half court.
Illinois so far this season 6-1. The only loss to in-state rival Illinois State back on November 16th. This is their first true road test, like you said, Chelsea. A good shot there, knocked down by Brandy Beasley, the leading scorer from last year's team. Coming off of the bench, Petra Holoshinko ranks in the top 4 in the conference in scoring. Another turnover there. Second turnover for Carolina of the game.
Beasley, a player who missed the first couple of games with a concussion, has been working her way back, but is one of those veteran players that Coach Fay saying she's going to be on the court more tonight, she anticipates, and saw a confident shot for her.
Kennedy Miles shot off the back iron there, rebounded by Janelle Bailey. Bounce pass, turned over, back-to-back turnovers for Carolina. That's the third. 3 turnovers apiece for these teams. That shot from Janae Terry is good. She's averaging 6.5 a game. A freshman out of Detroit, Michigan. Strong contributor off the bench for the Fighting Illini. And all of a sudden, a 6-0 run for Illinois over the last minute. Cut the deficit to 4. And a blocked shot there by Janae Terry up the other way. Good pass down low. Can't convert. Kennedy Miles gets the own rebound back in the lane, up for more, no good. Opportunity that you'd like to see converted there for Illinois.
Those are good possessions, though, and a couple of turnovers forced, and I thought it was a really good job by Janae Terry as Chitendo making an impact inside. But for Illinois, a couple of good looks there. You like that tenacity on the defensive end by Terry, creating some offense from her defense.
Terry again looking for help. Illinois' walkthrough this morning wasn't exactly a walkthrough, if you can call it that. Coach Fay had him running for a good hour and 15 minutes, running some set plays in preparation for North Carolina tonight. Gotten some recent points, but still 3 for 13 from the field. The whistle blows. It's going to be a foul on Brandy Beasley. Her first foul, team second.
Bennett with a little crossover and a reach in by Beasley. It's a good attack mode for Bennett.
Shayla Bennett to the line to shoot two, the 5'9" senior from Piedmont, South Carolina. Coming off back-to-back double-digit scoring efforts in the games against Temple and Missouri at the Cancun Challenge. They won both of those by a large margin. The whistle blows there, and Jada Peebles opening and closing those eyes. Might have got poked in the eye there from Medina Muhammad, her first. Ellie Andrews checking back into the game for Illinois. Senior leader for this team. They'd like to see her get going. 50 for the Illini. Tough shot off the backboard there for Brandy Beasley. Gets it to go. Under 3 to go here in the first quarter. Illinois climbing back into this one. Mid-range shot, no good. Offensive rebound for North Carolina. Taylor Koenen from the corner knocks it down. 7 points on the night for Taylor Koenen.
Shayla Bennett had 7 assists in their last game, and again, another example, passing up a shot for a better look by Koenen, wide open in the corner.
Allie Andrews, top of the key, doesn't get any rim. And Medina Muhammad wide open, knocks down a 3. Back-to-back threes for North Carolina, and the Tar Heels up 12 now, 23-11.
This is a Carolina team that you might see over the course of their season, on an average, running a little bit slower than you're used to seeing Carolina run. You're used to running in transition often as their primary offense. As Koenen in another transition 3. But Coach Banghart, when they have opportunities to run and it's working well, is going to let this team run. They're disciplined and they play more half court this season, but you're seeing examples of Carolina reading the defense, taking advantage of those transition opportunities, getting out and using their speed to their advantage.
A 9-0 run for the Tar Heels. Taylor Koenen 4 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. A whistle and a foul on North Carolina. Hey, keep in mind, Friday night we'll have another stellar college basketball doubleheader for you. We start with number 10, Duke, taking on Virginia Tech at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then it's number 1, Louisville hosting Pitt. Both games right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Coach Fay not too happy on the bench there, talking to Jada Peebles. Another turnover for Illinois. That's their 4th turnover. Koenen left open again. Can't get that one to go. Good battle for the board there. Malucha Tenge getting tangled up there with Petra Holoshinska. Foul's going to go on Allie Andrews.
Malucha Tenge is dominant on the board, just a freshman, but remember her name because this is a player that's going to be special to watch over her 4 years here. Another, we talked about the freshman for Illinois, and that's a freshman for North Carolina that has had a tremendous impact. Leah Church off the bench, that's exactly what she's in the game to do, is knock down the triple. Everybody's getting in on the action from beyond the arc. 5 for 7 tonight for North Carolina, shooting 71.4%. The first bench points for the Tar Heels since before their Cancun challenge against Elon.
29-11, 34 left to go, and North Carolina will slow it up. And this maybe is what you didn't see last year, Chelsea, where they would just continue to pound you in transition. Coach Banghart calling out some half-court sets. Nine on the shot clock, free throw line shot no good. Again, an offensive board. Shot clock is off. And North Carolina will hold for the final shot. 4 left to go. Bennett fires one up. Thought there was contact, no good. And that will run out the first quarter, but my, what a first quarter it was for North Carolina. 29-11. They were 5 for 8 from beyond the line, finished on a 12-0 run.
Now let's have one more.
2?
Make that 2 more plans.
Sweetie?
Let us help with your plan.
We can do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with yours. New York Life.
In my house, our holiday tradition is a secret. We're pretty sneaky, so we don't ruin the surprise. Mom calls it the magic of the holidays. I just call it fun.
Food Lion makes it easy and affordable to make more merry. Because this is our home, and that's our Food Lion.
Laser X, the #1 home laser tycoon on the planet. Join Red, Blue, or go Rogue, featuring the original, Micro, and the new Morph Blaster that morphs from a target game into a full-size blaster with a 300-foot range. Plus, morph back to training mode to test speed and skill, inside or out, day or night. With an unlimited number of players, all gear works together. You can get the Laser X Morph Double Set at GetLaserX.com. The original, the ultimate Laser X.
Spending your days playing while still getting a check plan. Let us help with your plan.
Yep, every month.
Great. Sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with yours. New York Life.
Brett Favre, legendary quarterback. Jerry Rice, legendary wide receiver. When legends play, they wear Copperfit Advanced Back Pro. Copperfit's best-selling compression back support just got better with new double-band adjustable supports for customizable compression when you need it most.
That's what I'm talking about.
4 built-in stabilizing supports designed to improve posture and help reduce lower back stress and strain.
You have back pain, and it's affecting your everyday life.
Do something. Since I put this on, I feel so much better. The core is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
To know that I'm stabilized here. Whatever I'm doing, I can give it 100%.
Call 1-800-814-4139 or on the web at advancedbackpro.com for only $19.99.
This does feel good.
That's what I've been saying.
You think it was fair?
It was fun. Copperfit, live limitless.
29-11, getting ready to start the second quarter. A big part in that first quarter, Chelsea, was Janelle Bailey.
Janelle Bailey off to a really quick start. Has done a really good job on the boards as well with 6 rebounds. And you saw a 3-point shot for her. That's the first one she's taken. And she's made it as well, 100% from the 3-point line. Bailey adding her mid-range game, and we talked about when she gets 2 feet in the paint and good positioning on the block, she is tough to defend, even with Illinois sending double and triple teams at her. You see that anchor inside, and again, you're just seeing the balance that this starting 5 group has. Offensive weapons all over the court.
ACC Freshman of the Year back in 2018 as Leah Church's shot is short. Illinois in the fast break. And a fast break point there. Courtney Jones getting in on the action. Her first points of the night. The 5'10 senior from Iowa City, Iowa. And taken away and a foul. That'll be on Chitenge. That's going to be her second. Something to keep an eye on for Coach Banghart.
And there's Illinois getting out and running in transition. Janiyah Ephraim, good little pass through the defense there.
So Malu Chitenge will check out with 2 fouls early here in the second quarter. This was a concern for North Carolina. The fact that they really only use 5 players. And with Chitenge now down 2, that could be concerning later on this game.
And this is something that Carolina will have to figure out how to manage, as foul trouble could always be an issue. And again, I think the flexibility of Taylor Koenen to drop down into that 4 slot, take some of that pressure off, as she can play in the 4 spot, or you can bring her out on the wing as well. So there's some versatility.
Again, Chitenge averaging a double-double. 13 and a half, 10 rebounds a game. As a true freshman, you see the starters and the minutes per game. One of the reasons why they're all averaging over 10 points a game is because of all of the minutes that they're playing. But 77% of total minutes played for this team have come from these 5 right there. Referees checking the shot clock here. Looking to see if this shot hit the rim. Oh, looks to me like it did. That was pretty clear there from Janiyah Ephraim. Should be a pretty easy call there. So reset the shot clock to 21. Ball underneath for Illinois. Trying to climb back into this thing, down 29-13. Oleshinska's shot, no good. Leading scorer for Illinois, only with 3 points today. A turnover there. Into the fast break. Ephraim, shot blocked by Bennett. And out of bounds.
I thought Jones did a good job of getting her hand in the passing lane there on Koenen, making it just difficult enough.
5th turnover for Illinois. Ball goes out, and it's going to stay with North Carolina. Nadim Muhammad will check in for Kennedy Tucker. Leah Church.
That is what Leah Church is in the game to do, and if you're Illinois, you have to have a hand up on her at all times. Way too easy look for Church.
Coach Fay was saying earlier, too, as Kennedy Miles drives, gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for 2. Coach Fay was saying earlier that, you know, it's kind of pick your poison with this North Carolina team, because you do have Bailey and Chitenge in on the post, but you also have a very good 3-point shooting team. So you kind of have to see who you want to face off against. And it looks like Illinois may have chosen wrong so far in this one, because the 3-point line, Chelsea, has been wide open. Kennedy Miles knocks the first one down. Kennedy's got 3 double-doubles in the first 7 games. That's tied for 3rd most in the nation amongst freshmen. She knocks down 2. And now the Fighting Illini bringing some full-court pressure here. Good place to trap there, and a jump ball called. Possession's going to be with North Carolina, though.
It's a good look by Coach Fay on that possession. Just enough pressure to create the trap. And this is where Carolina had a couple of unsure possessions in transition where they turned the ball over. And so you want to extend that pressure a little more, trying to keep them off balance.
Nice drive for Bennett. Can't convert. Whistle underneath. It's going to stay North Carolina ball. Coach Fay not happy. It's going to be on Janiyah Ephraim.
Here's a shot by Bennett, and you can see Ephraim outsized, but using her strength to battle with Bailey. Bailey has 2 fouls, though, so that could have...
Yeah.
If that was a foul on Bailey, that would have changed the look of things. I think if you're Illinois, you need to continue to go inside with Chitenge on the bench.
Nice cut by Bailey. Can't get the shot to go. Transition shot, Sierra Rice. 5'9" sophomore out of Michigan. Her first points of the game. Foul on Sierra Rice there. Her first, team second. Malu Chitenge checking back in for Bailey. She's got 2, both players with 2. Petra Holoshinka on the wing, trying to create some offense here. 10 on the shot clock. Holoshinka looks for a help. Shot clock winding down. Rice gets a shot off. I don't think that hit the rim. And a shot clock violation. Good defense by North Carolina there.
Really good defensive position in their man-to-man. Doing some switching again with Taylor Koenen. Able to switch on to some of the smaller players, and with her length and size being disruptive.
Illinois 6 for 23 from the field. They are, however, 4 for 8 from three-point range. So we'll try to get some more shots off. Ooh, sneaky spin move from Shayla Bennett. 4 points for Bennett, the senior guard. A push off there on Holoshinka. Take another look at this spin.
Off the little rub screen. Reads the defense. Nobody there to help. Crafty finish by Bennett.
Foul was on Petra Holoshinka. Her first foul. Hey, keep in mind, Sunday, what an early season conference game this is. Cole Anthony, number 7, North Carolina, are in Charlottesville to take on number 5, Virginia. That's 4 Eastern, 3 Central, right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Both teams looked really bad. I think both coaches would admit that in their most recent meetings. So North Carolina losing at the Dean last night pretty handily to Ohio State. Good shot there from Taylor Koenen, her 12th point. Foul on the floor there. Whistle against North Carolina and Leah Church. Her first team third foul here in the second quarter. Now, Jada Peebles talked about her at the top of our show, the 5'10" freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina. 19 tickets here for her family, committed to North Carolina State, then reopened her recruitment her senior year due to a coaching change. And a homecoming for Jada Peebles. Her and Janiyah Ephraim, both from North Carolina, played on the same AAU team. And Janiyah says that she may have had a little help getting Jada Peebles into Illinois. Coming to play for Coach Fay.
It was nice chatting with her at their shoot-around. Not only are you coming to your home state to play in front of a bunch of family and friends, but it's your first true road game.
That's right.
Freshmen. They've been home for their first 7 games of the season so far, and sometimes those nerves can get the best of you.
And a travel down low. Kennedy Miles trying to create some space there. 7th turnover for Illinois. A couple of changes here as Kennedy Tucker will check in for Leah Church. Chelsea 6 field goals, but 7 turnovers for Illinois so far in this one. More turnovers than made shots.
And Carolina has been disruptive on the defensive end. That's certainly an area that has been more focused in on, is that defensive discipline that Coach Barnhart has brought. And you're seeing it every possession, how active they are, whether they're in man or zone. There's discipline on the defensive end, and they've been disruptive so far to Illinois.
And Coach Fay was pretty open about it, too. She said, look, this is probably one of, if not the best team that we have played up until this point. And she knew it was going to be a test. It certainly has been a test for the Fighting Illini, trailing by 20 here. Coming up next, we're going to remember Stuart Scott, as we are doing all week long here in Chapel Hill and V-Week.
I saved hundreds on my car insurance when I switched to Geico, and this is how it made me feel. It was like that feeling when you go to taco night at your favorite restaurant, and they're the best tasting tacos in the entire world. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, they bring you out another taco because they made an extra one.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hi, I'm Barb, and you may have heard about SoClean. It's the
TV, but also in real life went to preschool with both of his daughters, Sydney and Taylor, who continue to carry on the legacy of Stuart Scott. And similar, getting to sit in my dad's lap at the Baseball Tonight set. I got to sit in Stu's lap as well growing up. He was so kind to me and my family, and it's always great to see Stu's legacy remembered, of course, here as a Tar Heel. And everyone knew how much Stu loved his Tar Heels. An incredible man, and certainly will never be forgotten. Foul there as Medina Muhammad gets pushed out of bounds. And it's actually going to be a turnover there. It was interesting, too. I did call my dad because I was young. I don't really remember all of it. But he said that when they got the schedule for SportsCenter back in the day, it was, him, Kenny Mayne, all these guys that you remember growing up watching. He said when Stu was on the show with them, they didn't say, well, I'm doing the show with Stu, or I'm doing the show with Stuart Scott. They would say, I'm doing the show with Booyah. That was how they referred to Stuart Scott, was just Booyah. So, really exciting stuff. Seeing it last night in Medina and here tonight as well. 8th turnover. I think Booyah was probably one of the more famous catchphrases, cool on the other side of the pillow. And for anyone who also hasn't been up to Bristol in our ESPN studios, his name is everywhere. Collision there from Kennedy Miles as she collides into the table there. Play continues. It looks like she's okay. Puts the paper back down on the table there and gets back into play. Freshman Kennedy Miles. Step back 3 from Brandy Beasley, and she knocks it down. Cuts the deficit to 15.
Tough shot for Beasley. Another triple for her. And Miles, freshman we highlighted in the open, is somebody that you'd think you'd like to see a little bit more activity from on the inside on the offensive end. Has had a couple of looks, unable to finish. There's a big board. Here's a hustle play, though, for Miles, impacting the game in other ways.
Whoa, look out. Yeah, she helped clean up, put everything back together.
What's going on? And hustle back in.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt there. Miles to the floor. Spins around in the paint. In and out.
Miles just keeps needing to be aggressive. We've seen a couple of baskets inside for her, just not able to finish.
Nice pass.
Another good transition opportunity for the Tar Heels.
14 points for Taylor Koenen. Hold on.
Well, watch after the basketball is scored here.
Okay, so we have an inadvertent whistle, yeah.
Okay,
so
whistle.
The Illinois ball, what they really needed was for Carolina to miss some shots. They were shooting over 70% after the first quarter. And now they have kind of come back to life, shooting 50% for the game. Beasley, step back three, back-to-back for Brandy Beasley, the leading scorer from last year's team. There's a scrappy play and a fight for it. And the possession arrow points to Illinois.
Beasley has been a consistent scorer for Illinois. She's a senior veteran. And again, Coach Fay explaining how she'd been working her way back from a concussion. Missed the first 3 games because of that. So even over these past 4 games where she has been able to play, it's been a slower process. But has certainly made a huge impact early on, as Coach Fay acknowledged she would be playing more minutes tonight.
Down low and a shot blocked. Janelle Bailey, Peebles getting her hand in there. And Bailey brought it down. Have not seen much from Malucha Tenge after she picked up 2 fouls earlier on in this second quarter. Off-balance shot and an offensive rebound there for Kennedy Tucker. Medina Muhammad gets that one to go.
If you can get the ball in that ACC logo against the zone, you can see how much it has collapsed Illinois on that top line and has really opened up shots on the outside. Watch just these simple passes, getting the ball right into the heart of the zone. Look at all 5 players for Illinois collapse, leaving Muhammad wide open for a triple.
Which was interesting, too, because Coach Fay was getting after her players in the shoot-around today, saying guards do not collapse on the ACC logo there at the top of the key. That pass over the head of Janelle Bailey. Ninth turnover. Both teams have not taken great care of the ball tonight. Emily Sullivan, the redshirt junior from Evansville, Indiana, checking in. She missed all of last season due to injury and redshirted. So now we're seeing a little bit more of the bench for North Carolina coming in, trying to make an impact here. Good stop from Sullivan and a nice rebound.
Well, between players in foul trouble and having a lead like this is something I can imagine Coach Banghart has to be pleased with, in the sense that you have an opportunity to get some of those bench players in. By the time conference play rolls around, you really want to have that 6th, 7th consistent player able to step up as the season wears on, and you need to find that depth.
Shot from Koenen off the mark, and finally goes off Medina Muhammad to give Illinois possession here. Two left in the second quarter. Off balance shot from Beasley is no good. And at the end of the first half, it is 43, North Carolina 26. Here from Charlotte, North Carolina leads the team, ranks 5th in the ACC, averaging 17.5. She's got half that, just about, a little bit over at the first half, so she's on par. Bennett drives, creates space, and converts. She is really sneaky with the ball. 6 points tonight for Bennett. Back the other way. Some points for Janiyah Ephraim. Just her first points of the game. (45-28). Picked away by Kennedy Miles. Good quick hands. Right back, Taylor Koenen almost picked it away. What does Illinois have to do, Chelsea, to get kind of back in this game and dig at the lead?
I think defensively is where they need to figure out a way to slow down Carolina in the half court, especially as there's a good power move off the rebound for Miles. She's impacted the game in other ways, though, as you just saw that last steal from Bailey. But Illinois has been getting beat too easily in the half court. We saw some of the options that North Carolina was able to pick apart in their zone, and then now in man-to-man, beating that front line.
Illinois has played a lot of zone this year. Not a hand in the face of Taylor Koenen. She's got 17 points to lead the way for the Tar Heels tonight. And she is 3 for 4 from long range. Whistle on a push-off, or excuse me, a reach foul on Taylor Koenen. Second personal foul. Yeah, you said, like you said, you know, the Big Ten is a very difficult conference this year in their RPI second. ACC has had a little bit of a down year, possibly, I think you could say. But, again, still 4 teams ranked in the top 25. Both these conferences, for that matter, have 4 teams ranked in the top 25. North Carolina, again, I'll say, was picked 9th preseason to finish 9th. Behind teams like of Louisville back at the top of the conference. But what are you looking forward to most, maybe, this ACC season?
Well, I think there's a little bit more parity. For the first time since joining the league, Notre Dame has not been picked as the preseason favorite, and we've heard that narrative so far this season. You're seeing the pieces that Coach McGraw is having to replace and what she lost from those 5 starters a season ago. And so Notre Dame not being in that top slot, now in the mid to lower half of the conference, which you're not used to seeing. Miami, Syracuse, and Clemson, a team that making the NCAA tournament last year, now having a tough start, not really able to carry that momentum. But there's that parity. Teams like North Carolina, or we covered Virginia Tech earlier on the season. Teams that you're seeing picked in the lower half have that opportunity to finish a little bit higher.
Coach Jeff Walz in Louisville knocked off top-ranked Oregon this past Saturday. That was huge in the Paradise Jam tournament. Kylie Shook took over that game for Louisville. She's a player to keep an eye on for the Cardinals this year in the ACC. Good hands there. Medina Muhammad saves it momentarily back the other way with Illinois.
The eligibility of Elizabeth Balagoon and Elizabeth Dixon, the 2 transfers from Georgia Tech, was a huge boost for Jeff Walz to have them this season, and is certainly a big reason as to why they've had the success that they've had early on. But talk about scheming and mastermind of the game. Yeah. Jeff Walz certainly doing a great job at that, giving Oregon a different and more unique look defensively, with Shook specifically in that game over the holiday.
Mel Bailey's shot, no good. It's going to stay with the Tar Heels. Brandy Beasley will check back in, the leading scorer for this team. 11 points, 4 for 7 from the field, shooting 50% from long range. Nice spin move to get out of pressure, and Bailey in the paint brings North Carolina back up to a 20-point lead.
Bailey has just become accustomed to having to play through 2 and 3 defenders. You see that help come, and she's so strong, able to finish through contact. That'll be important for her as conference play approaches, facing some bigger and stronger, more veteran post players, to be able to finish through those multiple defenders.
Nice drive to the paint by Brandy Beasley. Got 13 tonight. Continue to go to her to get some offense. Double teamed on the pass there. Numbers for the Fighting Illini. Beasley to Peebles. Takes a dribble. No good. Looked like she hesitated there just a bit. Medina Muhammad into the paint. Oh, nifty behind the back there, too. 8 points for Medina tonight.
Muhammad sitting out last season due to transfer rules, coming from Mississippi, but another player who has really bolstered this Carolina roster. Talk about losing Paris Key from a season ago, leading scorer for North Carolina, and couldn't be more timely to have Muhammad in the lineup.
Illinois is going to call a timeout here, down by 20. Coach Fade not happy. And a big reason is because Taylor Koenen tonight has been on fire. 17 points. We're going to get a fast break with the senior coming up next.
When we're looking for a roommate.
Cool. That's right. She played for varsity teams when she was in 7th and 8th grade. 15 total letters, the steal on the score for Bennett there. 5-star recruit. 2016 Gatorade Player of the Year in Minnesota and top-ranked player out of the state. And a really good pickup by North Carolina, and she's proved just why. 7 for 10 from the field, 17 points. 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
Captain of the team, Coach Banghart asked the team when she first got here who they thought should be the captain, and the common name was Taylor Koenen, and certainly a leader on and off the court.
54-32, North Carolina on top. We'll take a quick break. Coming up next, great year for the Big Ten to try and go out and hold on to a win and get their first of the challenge. They lead 5-0. However, North Carolina looks like they are in command of this one, but still off to a great start. They won all 5 games yesterday. And a shot there is made by Sierra Rice. Overall, Chelsea, we talked about the ACC, the Big Ten. Again, they have 4 teams in the AP top 25. You got Maryland in the top 10, who is playing later tonight. So look at those teams there. Michigan State, like we said, is playing on this network following our game. 4-point opportunity for Leah Church on the 3 there. And she's great behind the line, we know that.
Well, she has played her role well tonight, knocking down the triple through some contact to finish. As Miles stepping out. You see the excitement from the bench. We talked about the minutes that some of those players might get tonight. Continue to give Coach Banghart a look at some other pieces that could become more consistent. And Leah Church, a player offensively that you know what you're going to get from her. It's defensively for Church that I think there's a little bit of a learning curve, just being more consistent in that area. Quickness and speed, guarding some of the guards that you see in the ACC is the issue to contend for Church, but certainly offensively, there's no question as to what she's able to give you on that end of the floor.
Allie Andrews to the line there. For those who are fans, maybe not of North Carolina, but of women's college basketball, know the name Leah Church. She's a YouTube sensation. I mean, she broke the Guinness World Record for most 3-pointers made in a minute, which was 32, which she broke the previous record of 27, and also this, which still startles me to this day. Not 1, not 2. How about 3 for Leah Church? I mean, it's incredible.
Well, first of all, I would never want to play a game of horse with her.
Yeah.
And second of all, I would just be curious to see if that could be recreated, even by her own standards. But that is impressive.
Most people have a tough enough time making shots facing the basket, never mind facing away from the basket. Impressive stuff from Leah Church. Longest lead of the night for North Carolina, 60-37 here. Leah tonight, 10 points, 3 for 5 from long range. Bennett will try from deep. She knocks it down.
A smile from Coach Banghart, pointing from the bench.
And a takeaway here, Church. There's that defense you were looking for. Gets it knocked away. It'll stay with the Tar Heels. And North Carolina tonight, 10 for 19 from beyond the 3-point line. That's 52.6%.
Illinois has just been telegraphing passes long passes, high passes, making it easy for Carolina to get in the gaps. We, again, keep referencing it, but with Coach Fay making that point and belaboring that to her players early on during shoot-around. Those are the things that you can control in the course of a game, and Illinois has not done a good job of making that adjustment.
Shot 31% from field, have the Fighting Illini tonight. They've been out-rebounded as well, fairly significantly. 20-28, North Carolina with the advantage in the rebounding department. Ball knocked out of bounds, going to stay with the Tar Heels. All right, keep in mind, Friday night, we'll have another stellar college basketball doubleheader for you. We're going to start with number 10, Duke, taking on Virginia Tech, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then it's number 1, Louisville, hosting Pitt. Both games right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. A foul. Continuation there given, so Janae Terry will go to the line to shoot 2. What is the next step, in your opinion, for Illinois? I mean, when you look at what they have done, and Coach Fay is trying to build this program up and get it out of the basement of the Big Ten. They finished last, 14th in the Big Ten each of the last 2 seasons. Where do they go next, and what can they improve on in a very difficult conference, Chelsea?
Sure. I mean, you heard her talk about needing more size, and at this level, you want that big. Most teams do, and I think that's just coming down to recruiting. Coach Fay in her 3rd season, so still bringing in some of those recruits, but the size and anchoring that inside, especially in the Big Ten Conference, is something that she attributed to. She also said they're trying to see the shared minutes played between these players as something that's a strength and not a weakness, contrasting that with Carolina. Right. The 5 players, their starters that play so many minutes. You see more of those shared minutes for Illinois, and trying to make that become a strength rather than a weakness is the perspective Coach Fay was trying to have on it. But I think for Illinois, it's developing these young players. We're seeing the 3 freshmen that are having a huge impact right now. Where will they be in the next year or 2? And then how can you add to that recruiting-wise, trying to find a big?
Leah Church knocks another one down. She's got 13 tonight. And keep in mind, all from the bench. There's some of those bench points that you were talking about, Chelsea. 13 points off the bench for Leah Church. Did not start this one. Backdoor cut and a bucket for Janiyah Ephraim there. Some more full court pressure for Illinois.
This is a good confidence booster for these players off the bench, for Alexi Duckett, a Leah Church. Players able to come in against a Power 5 opponent and give some quality minutes. Jalen Murray is a player that we haven't talked much about. Yeah. She's a veteran post player who was sidelined with an injury in their exhibition game and will be out for the season, and that's a piece to the puzzle. She would have come off the bench, but she would have added a huge spark on the interior as a post player. So a piece to the puzzle that they lost early on that would have given them a little bit more depth that they won't have.
Yeah, there she is at the end of the bench there for Carolina. Went down with a knee injury in the team's exhibition game this year. And one of her best friends on the team is Janelle Bailey. And Janelle was saying earlier that she was really obviously looking forward to playing with Jalen on the court. And they switched numbers. So Janelle Bailey was 44 last year, and now she's taken over Jalen Murray's number.
The way to honor your teammate who can't be on the court.
Janelle Bailey named the preseason All-ACC team 2nd straight year. Certainly a leader for this team, and something that leaders do. I think one of the biggest attributes you can put towards the word leader when you say ask somebody to describe a leader is probably selfless. And I think Janelle Bailey shows that by giving up her number that she has worn for a couple of years to wear her teammates' number out there. Janelle passed the 600 mark for her career in rebounds in Cancun. Just the 26th player in program history to reach 1,000 points and 600 rebounds. She's got another year, just a junior. Foul's going to be on Lyric Robbins, number 2 for Illinois. That's her first team third here with under a minute in the third quarter. North Carolina, really probably one of their first big tests was over the weekend against Missouri. They showed who they were then, beat Missouri by almost 20. And now another test there. Shot off the mark from Pickett and then rebounded by Bailey.
Bailey again creating some offense off of a tough rebound. And again, 2-3 players with active hands on Bailey as she powers through. Just physicality is such a big part of her game.
Janelle Bailey's now got a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 4th double-double, 30th of her career. Fitting that she's wearing the number 30 now, too.
One, pitch right here. No, pitch. I got you, pitch.
2 for 2 from the line. 13 points, 10 boards for the junior. Another backdoor cut. Janiyah Ephraim's had a couple of those given to her. Heads up play, 6 points for Ephraim tonight. 24-point lead for Carolina, under 20. Foul there, Illinois playing up tight on the perimeter. 15 foul for Illinois. So North Carolina will go to the line, shoot 1 and 1. Second foul on Kennedy Miles, the freshman.
Point of emphasis this year is contact on the ball handler, and seeing that call being made correctly on Miles.
First point of the game for Emily Sullivan's redshirt junior out of Evansville that missed the whole last year due to injury. Ten seconds left in the third. Ephraim taking it herself. No good. Almost knocked out of bounds, kept in just long enough, it looks like, and down on the floor is Leah Church, and that does not look good. She is in pain. Coach Banghart's going to go out to check on Leah Church. That does not look good. We will be back with an update when we return in the fourth quarter. She was holding up there is, I guess you could say, your shooting hand. I mean, that's something to keep an eye on for somebody who's relied upon for the three-point shot to see how that will affect it. But, of course, thoughts with Leah Church, hope that she is okay. Fourth quarter underway, 69-44. Tar Heels have been in command since the first quarter tonight. Rebound for Bailey there. 11th board. She's already got a double-double. That was back in the third quarter of this one, and seeming more and more like a ho-hum night for North Carolina, who is used to having 5 players in double figures. They have that tonight. Yeah, Koenen with 17, Bennett has 11, Bailey has 13, Medina Muhammad with 10, and Leah Church had 13. Shot clock violation there. Good defense for Illinois. Brandy Beasley, the leading scorer for the Fighting Illini, checks back into the game. 13 points for Beasley tonight, 5 for 8 from the field. Jada Peebles from 3. And that one rattles in. You see the fan base for Jada Peebles behind the basket there. 19 guest tickets for Peebles tonight, filling up that guest list.
Peebles, another one of those freshmen we highlighted, averaging 9 points a game.
Knocked away by Kennedy Miles and has it blocked. Beasley is there for the rebound. Can't get it to go. Miles has it back. Janae Terry throws up a wild shot. And a good rebound there by Lexi Duckett. Recovered once again by Illinois. Illinois refusing to go down easy. And that shot's good.
Well, that's going to be a frustrating possession for Coach Banghart because multiple offensive rebounds and just not securing the basketball is what led to Illinois being able to get that second, third look, which finally they knock one down.
Courtney Jones with the three, her first points of the night. A whistle and a foul on Beasley there. Hey, Sunday, what an early season conference game this is. Cole Anthony and number 7, North Carolina, will travel to Charlottesville to take on number 5, Virginia. That's 4 Eastern, 3 Central right here on the ACC Network and ESPN Network. Cole Anthony has really been in charge of taking this North Carolina team to the next level. $19 points for Taylor Koenen tonight. That leads the team for North Carolina.
The past few possessions, there really hasn't seemed to be much flow to Illinois' offense. It seems like it's been a lot of one-on-one action, and same spot now for Koenen, scoring back-to-back baskets right in that same position on the floor.
That pass goes long, too long for Kennedy Miles to reel that in. 14 turnovers for Illinois tonight as well, and a timeout is going to be used by Coach Fay. She's not happy. 73-49, North Carolina on top here in the fourth. Cancun challenge. Just how good is this Carolina team, and how good can they be?
Yeah, I think that what you're learning about this team is just the consistency. As you mentioned, where are those tests going to come until they get to conference play? I think this would be an opportunity, as we've been talking about, for Coach Banghart to continue to find those bench and role players as Leah Church comes back, icing that right shoulder. Good news to see her back with the team.
Told that she is not going to return to this game, so it's good to see her back out there on the bench, though.
But they won't face their first top 25 opponent until January 9th when they host NC State, and could very well be undefeated, have been receiving a few votes in some of the last polls, and could be a team that we see in the top 25, if not before conference play starts.
Kenny Miles with a couple good moves there to get a point. But yeah, North Carolina off to their best start since the 2014-2015 season, when they went 9-0. Chitengwe back in the game, getting in on the action. 6 points. Got into early foul trouble, one of the big concerns for Coach Banghart this year. Miles pass deflected by Chitengwe there. I haven't seen too much of Malou Chitengwe tonight. 6 points, 4 rebounds. She's been averaging a double-double up until this point. One thing we haven't mentioned, too, is, by the way, a very famous family member for Malou Chitengwe. Her uncle is 18-year NBA veteran Dikembe Mutombo. Probably one of the more liked players in the NBA of all time. A long career for Dikembe. Here's a picture of them at graduation, high school graduation for Malou Chitengwe.
High-quality coaching from your uncle.
Yeah, and he's not that much taller than Malou Chitengwe is, too. Not not many people can say, but we got a little fun with Malou earlier today. Uncle Dikembe at the 2015 Naismith Hall of Fame induction. And then Malou with her own impersonation of it. Tough to tell whose is better, but all in good fun. But I think something similar that she may have taken from her uncle is her work ethic. And Coach Banghart lamented about just how hard Malou Chitenge has worked, coming in, shooting free throws at the end of practice, always the last one to leave, first one to get there, and says that she takes 2 balls underneath the basket, works both sides on the post. That's what she does before she says hi to anybody when she comes to practice. Every day, Coach Banghart says that she does that.
Adding that, even some of the veteran upper-class players on the team take notice of that. And when you've got a freshman with that kind of work ethic from the get-go, that's a really encouraging thing that's certainly impacting not only her other freshman counterparts, but the entire team.
More full court pressure from Illinois. Shayla Bennett also getting in on the double-double action tonight. 11 points, 10 assists, second double-double of the season, third of her career. Muhammad has it poked away, going to stay with the Tar Heels. 6 on the shot clock. Under 5 to go here in the game. We know that Carolina has a short bench, Chelsea, but what are the other potential problems for them, maybe in their schemes or in their play, that they're going to face in conference play when they do face some of that best competition? A shot clock violation called there.
Well, I think, again, Carolina is just continuing to learn a new tempo. They've gotten a lot thrown at them in the first couple of months, as Coach Banghart acknowledged, just defensively being more disciplined on that end. And then offensively reading new plays, talking about Coach Banghart sharing that Shayla Bennett has had to take on a lot as she's now been responsible for calling and reading different plays and different actions, reading what the defense gives you. And so there's just been a lot of learning and a lot of overhaul in that sense. So I think as they absorb all of that, you'll continue to see this become a more and more well-oiled machine as games go on. And then certainly once you hit conference play, it's like a new season in a lot of senses. Yep. And the question then becomes, can you play with the pace you want to play with if you don't have that depth? And then, as we've talked about earlier, foul trouble or adjusting to things that happen in game with the lack of depth that you have is something that Carolina will continue to have to do. They have the pieces, they have the leadership, they've got the size and skill. So I think this certainly is a team that will be fun to watch, and as we've been saying, finish higher than they were picked in the preseason.
Yeah, and for those that are also fans of North Carolina, are excited to hear about the new recruits that are going to be coming under Coach Banghart next year. Her first real true recruiting class for next season ranks 11th nationally and 4th in the ACC according to our ESPNW. So that's a couple of names here. Deja Kelly was somebody that Coach Banghart said that she was on the phone with pretty much every day over the past couple of months. And some really good names there. Kennedy Todd Williams as well.
Some of these players, too, you have to remember Coach Banghart, the success she had at Princeton, recruiting as many high athletes as she could who might have turned down Princeton simply because it wasn't the right fit. Now she's maintained those relationships, and now that you're at an ACC school, has been able to continue those relationships and actually have some of those players end up coming to North Carolina. So it's just, again, speaks to how important the relationship aspect is in the coaching business.
Still a scrum on the floor when you're up 26. Turnover there. Back the other way, Jada Peebles will lay that in. Still a team that will play to the end of the whistle. Doesn't matter how high the score may go. Under 3.5 now. That's good effort there.
Miles, I mean, we talked about her needing to be more of a presence on the offensive end, but you can't argue the hustle that she has brought or the tenacity, diving into tables, on the ground, for loose balls. Certainly a big effort from her in the things that might not show up on the stat sheet.
That's Nia Daniel, 32 in white, checking in for the first time here in the fourth quarter. And Koenen leading the team now with 23 points. That's a career high for the 6'2 senior.
Carolina averages leading the ACC in points per game and just hitting that average with 81. And again, all the more impressive given that 89% of that scoring comes from their starting five.
Muhammad driving, that's no good. Chitenge's shot off the mark, and Kenny Miles trying to take this one coast to coast. Has it blocked. Nia Daniels in on the action. Koenen taking that one away. Quickly up to Nia Daniel in the open court, and she lays it in. And that is her first points of the game. 83-55. North Carolina has blown this game open in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Hey, keep in mind tonight, AA tournament game. They have been but have not won a tournament game, trying to get back to the tournament for the second year in a row if they can do so this year. Poked away, and Tucker's going to keep possession with 12 left on the shot clock. Under 2 left to go here in the first quarter. Nia Daniel fadeaway, nice shot mid-range. 6 points of the night for Nia Daniel, freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Another solid bench player. That pass over the head of Kennedy Miles.
This is going to be some game film for Illinois to watch, and from a coaching perspective, it's not going to be focusing a whole lot on what the other team did. It's going to be focusing on the things that you need to improve on, some of those controllables, passing, rebounding, taking care of the basketball.
In the corner, that shot for Sierra Rice is good. She's had a couple of those tonight. 9 points for the sophomore out of Michigan. Under a minute left to go. This has been a complete performance, I think you could say, for North Carolina tonight, Chelsea. 85 points, that's above their season average. Just played really good basketball against a Power 5 conference team in Illinois. 2 left on the shot clock, and a deep 3 off the mark. Koenen still battling, couple of boards there, but finally out of bounds. Chitenge has that one slapped away. A lot of contact on that one there. Beasley shot off the mark. Shot clock is off. Still some pressure from Illinois, but North Carolina is going to come away with this one. (85-60). In convincing fashion, the Tar Heels improved to 7-0, off to their best start since 2014-2015 when they went 8-0. Trying to get back there, and Courtney Bang